Ropp Star Gang, what up, what up, what up? Appreciate everyone joining the live stream. Brian Burns has officially been tagged, franchise tag. And who predicted that? Who predicted that? I did. It's not, and I told y'all that. I told y'all. It is what it is. It's not an exclusive tag. No, not that I know of. Hopefully we trade him now. It's probably, like I said, it's going to happen. I told you a tag and trade was coming for him. I saw somewhere Burns asking for 35 million. Yeah, if that's true, Marco's Cash, I want what he's smoking. It's not an exclusive tag. I don't think so. From reports, it's saying it's not. Supernova, what's up? What's up, Clay? Yes. All right, so I am finishing up today's show's PowerPoint presentation for you guys. So give me 1 second, and I'll have that presented for you here shortly. You know how I like to do things. You know how I like to do the presentations. You know what I mean? Give me a second here. Oh my God. Yeah, well, why am I going through all of this just to present my PowerPoint? Like, this is ridiculous. Jeez, Lou. All right. Well, what? Hold on. Give me 1 second. Sorry, because this was just the reason why I went live so quickly was because it was breaking news. Obviously, the title of this at first was that times are changing in Carolina, which they are, obviously. But as soon as it came out, well, here we go. Franchise tag. It is a non-exclusive tag. Wow. See, I didn't think it was non-exclusive. Black Mamba, can you show me where it says it's a non-exclusive tag? Brian Burns. Let's see. I want to see where it says if it's non-exclusive. It says it on Twitter. I mean, you can't believe everything you say on Twitter, though. It says franchise tag. Plays on a franchise. They tag him, comes in at 24. Officially have tagged him. Twitter's saying, all I'm seeing on Twitter is they're saying that they franchise tagged him, that that doesn't say it's non-exclusive tag. I mean, I'll check Bleacher Report, Black Mama, but I don't see it anywhere where it says non-exclusive tag on there. Oh, okay, here we go. Here it is. Here it is. So this is actually big. This is actually very big. I'm going to share this instead. So let me explain to you how a non-exclusive tag works. All right. Here's the thing. With a non-exclusive tag, I had some notes on this. Okay, so obviously, here's the thing. What are the options going forward with Brian Burns? Okay. What are the options going forward with Brian Burns? Now, according to Joe Parsons, The Athletic, I'm reading here that the Panthers are preparing for um everything, right? So they obviously franchise tagged him. Now it's come out that you know that they gave him the non-exclusive. Okay, now the franchise tag would have given him the 24 million. So we have a chance to either match what Brian Burns or match what a team offers, or 2 first rounders. Okay, we would receive 2 first round draft picks as compensation. So I mean, I'm surprised that they were able to get this done. I'm surprised that they were even able to get this non-exclusive tag done, guys. I mean, like, seriously. I thought it was going to be a tag and trade scenario. Um, and for them to get the non-exclusive tag is absolutely huge. So again, they can either match what a team gives him, they can either try to match what the team gives him, right? Or that team would have to compensate us for 2 first round picks for this exclusive tag. Okay. And at least from my understanding, um, let's see. I want to see if there's anything else. I just want to see in the comments what they were saying. So yeah, so non-exclusive tag is crazy. I just did not see because here's the thing that I thought it was gonna. This was what I predicted. Y'all know that. Um, I thought that they were just going to tag and trade him, right? But again, um, it's just insane. It's just insane that we even got that because here's the thing with this, we're getting our cake and eating it too. You know, we're kind of getting our cake and eating it too with this. Um, dude, I'm kind of shocked that we were even able to get this because it's crazy how it went from they tagged him and now it's non-exclusive tag. Just like that. Jeez, Aloo, man. Um, I don't even know what to say, guys. I mean, honestly, like I said, I'm not surprised. Um, I knew the deadline today was you have to tag your players today. Like today was the deadline to tag. Um, I'm glad they didn't wait last minute to make their move. Um, but I predicted this. Exclusive tag, we have a chance to match Burns. Yep. Or 2 first rounders, right? Yes. Pound that like button. Marcos Cash said yes. Pound that like button, guys. What we thought was going to happen happened. I mean, I predicted this. I mean, y'all, if you watch my show every day, I predicted this. I predicted the franchise tag and trade scenario more than the non-exclusive tag, which is basically we're getting our cake and eating it too. In this whole scenario, it's crazy to me. That's what blows my mind about this whole thing because I never thought that we would be able to have our cake and eat it too. Because this scenario is, I thought it was less likely to get that non-exclusive tag. Okay. And I was thinking it was either they were going to tag him and he was going to play another year, or we were gonna tag him and trade him, or I just didn't think the non-exclusive tag was gonna be anything possible. Honestly. So again, it's a non-exclusive tag, means teams can negotiate, but Panthers have the right to match any offer. And if they don't, we get 2 first-round picks. So if a team comes to the player with an offer, you know, if Burns gets that offer, we can match it, or we decide to take the 2 first-round picks. And if it's me, I mean, y'all sound off in the comments. I mean, do y'all think that it would be, smart do y'all want to try to match him or get those or get those 2 first-round picks? What do y'all want? You know, I think for us, it's got to be. So Brian Burns is pretty much a free agent. I mean, Black Mamba, for so to speak, yes. I mean, he can. It's not necessarily he's a full free agent, so we didn't just let him walk, right? We didn't just let him walk. You know what I mean? We literally just. It went from franchise tag to non-exclusive tag like that, which was crazy. Because first it came out saying on Bleacher Report, because Black Mamba said, franchise tag, and it came out in Sports Illustrated franchise tag. Then on Bleacher Report, it came out non-exclusive, and now it's all over Twitter saying it's non-exclusive. And Schefter came out, so it changed quickly. I mean, okay. I mean, Marco's casting in the chat saying he wants the 2 first picks. Y'all are also saying get the Black Mama saying get the 2 first picks. I mean, I think it's the thing. Get the 2 first picks too. Glitches with the membership for 1 month. Trey Burns, draft a wide receiver. We need help, Bryce. Guys, so this is what I'm going to do for a little while. For you guys that become members, I need everyone that becomes a member to join the Discord. The link tree is down in the description of this video, but also the membership link is also down in the description of this live stream. Sorry, not video, live stream. I am live. So we are going to start doing I'm going to start doing a giveaway once a month to my members. Members, and I will also do a giveaway once a month to my subscribers as well. To the members, yours are going to be a little bit more. You get more out of it as a membership. Subscribers, you will still get something decent. Okay. We're going to do a giveaway once a month for members and subscribers. So make sure you become a member today. Join the Discord. Subscribe today. Join the Discord. So definitely get that. Let's get that. Let's get those memberships going. We're gonna have Madden content on the way. I'm going to start doing members and subscribers only live streams and videos. So become a member, become a subscriber today. And also, we're going to have certain content for members and subscribers only as well, like I was saying, but also giveaways, and then also some other perks with merch that will be on the way this year. So make sure y'all become a member and subscribe and join the Discord. That's it. All right, Clay, I'm out. Got some stuff to do. I'll be back if you're still on. Yeah, I'll be on probably till 12:45. Get the draft capital. Yeah. Get the draft capital for sure. I mean, I told y'all that this was going to happen. I mean, there was no other way around it, right? We weren't going to pay the man $30 million. We weren't going to pay the man $30 million. I mean, we offered him 27. There was a $3 million dilemma. Some people are making the case that Brian Burns is up there with the elite pass rushers, but they're saying because teams didn't throw against us as much, that's the reason why he didn't finish top 10 or this year in his winning percentage. Okay, you can make that case. That's fine. But don't forget that we also were playing teams and we were down 14 plus points when we played these teams and they were just running the ball. So I can I can close that debate off right then and there. We were playing what name besides a game against like certain games that we were close in. I mean, there was a lot of games that we weren't. Miami, Detroit, Seattle, the Falcons. What was another game that wasn't close? I mean, we go look at back at the games that we weren't close in. Of course, his winning percentage is going to go down. We were down by 14 plus points. What is that other team going to do? They're not going to throw the ball anymore. They're going to freaking run the ball. So, yeah, he's not going to have the winning percentage. Okay? So, the Falcons for the game week 1, okay? Week 3, week 5, week 6, hell, week 9, week 11, week 14 and 16, even though he got a sack in that, but like that's 8 games that I counted that we were down 14 plus points. And we lost by at least 14 plus points. So, yeah, his winning percentage is going to be down because they're going to run the ball. But you got to be able to stop the run too. As an elite pass rusher, you got to be able to stop the run. So, Glitches, thank you so much for becoming a member for another month. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. And for those of you who don't know, Glitches does YouTube gaming. So if you're into gaming, which I need to get up with you, Glitches. I might have Glitches, about the Madden content. I'm probably going to have to get a new computer. I'm probably going to have to get the money to get a new computer. Maybe 2 first rounds and Jameis Winston to reunite with Bryce Young. Reunite Jameson Williams with Bryce Young. You're saying to the Bears? Yeah, I mean, or the Lions? Yeah, I mean, the Lions are definitely interested. I think Washington's definitely interested. Seattle's definitely interested. Obviously the Ravens are definitely interested. I've even heard the Chiefs are interested in him. There's a lot of teams I'm sure that are interested in him that they're going to send a lot of offers. I think Jacksonville's definitely one because even though Jacksonville has to sign Josh Allen, I mean, they might sign both of those guys. I don't know what their cap space looks like, but I know that the Jacksonville Jaguars have been interested in him. If I'm Brian Burns, though, and I'm 25 years, and don't let me forget, the Bears are thirsty for him too. But if I'm Brian Burns, I'm going to a team that is basically not in rebuild mode. And if he chooses to go this route, unless we match for some reason, we match an offer. If I'm Brian Burns, I'm going to either LA to the Rams there because I think they are poised to have a big year this coming year. I'm either going to Kansas City because they are, of course, a contender. I'm going to the Texans because they're also, I think, obviously a playoff team. If you're going to go to a rebuild team, you're going to go to either the Bears, Washington, Seattle, Detroit, Ravens. These are teams that, are contenders. So if it's me, I'm going there. You know what I mean? I'm going there. Breaking news too, out of New York, the Giants will not place the franchise tag on Saquon Barkley. They're going to allow him to hit the open market for the first time this year as well. So Saquon Barkley is also soon to be a free agent. Just want to throw that out there, which is crazy. So a lot of moves. I mean, today is the day for all these NFL moves, franchise tags. You know, I was going to come on here today and talk about have the Panthers basically is that relationship repairable with Brian Burns? But obviously not, because this relationship was complicated. Let's be honest. There was a lot of many factors involved in this, such as money, ego, loyalty, trust. And I know that both sides have expressed desire to work things out to reach a win-win solution. There are no guarantees when it comes to these things. The Panthers need Burns more than he needs them, I think, but they also need to be careful to not overpay someone and overpromise. Even though I don't think he's an elite, I still want him here. Like, that's what the one thing I need y'all to understand. Like, I know I've come on here and said he's not Myles Garrett, he's not TJ Watt, he's not Max Crosby, he's not in the same ballpark, and I still believe he's not. Do I, like I said in my short video last night, is he an average Joe? No, he's above an average Joe. But he's just not a king yet. He's not a king. He's not in the realm of those other guys, in my opinion. But like I said, I predicted the franchise tag and trade scenario, which I thought was going to come to fruition until they just out of nowhere said, nah, it's going to be a non-exclusive tag. But I do think that the Carolina Panthers need him, because without him, we really don't have a pass rush. But unfortunately, this is the situation we've been put in due to the fact of Scott Fitterer making, signing and re-signing and negotiating contracts with players, that some that are still in this team and some that aren't. And we've got more players that we've got to talk about, which we're going to talk about here shortly. Donte Jackson and Taylor Moton. We got to talk to them. But again, I just knew that this was going to happen. I didn't think the non-exclusive tag was going to happen, which is basically giving us the Panthers their cake and they get to eat it too in this situation. I just knew, but here's the thing. I just knew that the Carolina Panthers could not afford Brian Burns. It was inevitable because of because of those shitty contracts and negotiations that Scott Fitterer has made. Lomax, what's up? But I mean, that is what it is. But we're getting our cake and we're eating it too, and we're gonna see what teams come offering, and either Carolina's gonna match or they will just get the two they're going to get the 2 first-round picks compensation. And it's simple, as easy as that. Some people might not like it. So, I know that there's certain content creators that don't like it. I know there's certain Carolina Panthers fans that don't like it. But this is the world of reality that we got to live in. And unfortunately for us, we're living in a reality that we have a fucked up cap space. And we got a fucked up organization. We've had that for going on how long? Past 5-6 seasons. So, it is what it is. I mean, here we are. I look forward to seeing what the future holds. I think, like I said, teams like these are the teams that I think are going to come offering. I think it's going to be I think these are the top 10 teams that are going to come offering. No particular order. I think the Texans are going to come with an offer. I think the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to come with an offer. I think Seattle's going to come with an offer. I think the Rams are still going to are interested. Definitely the Bears, the Ravens, Kansas City, Detroit, the Commanders. And I think if I'm missing another one, let me know. But I think also I could also see. I mean, I can see Philly or I can see the Titans. I can see a lot. I mean, there's probably more than 10 teams, honestly, that are going to come offer. I know that the Rams probably still want him. And I know for a fact that the Bears definitely want him because the GM has been all over about Brian Burns because he wanted him last year. So I wouldn't be surprised if he goes to the Bears. If he goes to a contending team, it'll either be Kansas City or I think Detroit. I could see that. Obviously the Ravens as well too, but there's so many teams I think that want this guy. So we'll see what happens. It's just like I said, there was too many egos. There was too many factors that were involved in this whole thing. Like I said, too many egos. And we'll see. There's no guarantees here, though. There's no guarantees. And I guarantee you that part of me believes that this situation isn't really because of Brian Burns. Part of me thinks that it's his agent, but it is what it is. The Bears is going to be the better version of the Panthers. They're gonna Brian and DJ out first. This is a lot of bad contract moves that are made, honestly. Yeah, I mean, and this is the reason why. Because we have to think about guys we want to keep on this team because they have to think about re-signing Frankie Louvu right now. And then next year, they have to think about extending Derek Brown. That's what the Panthers have to do. So, it is what it is. But again, Carolina Panthers are getting their cake and eating it too now. So whatever team comes with an offer, Carolina can match it, or they get 2 first-round picks in compensation. So we'll see who comes knocking. We'll see who comes knocking. We will see who comes knocking. All right. Release or trade? Release or trade? That is the question. Release or trade? That is the question. Because the Panthers are obviously expecting to part ways with Donte Jackson. Okay. Now that's according to sources. Jackson has been, I want to say, I will give him the respect where respect is due. He's been a valuable player, I think, for the most part of his career here in Carolina. He had over 76 starts. He had 303 tackles, 46 passes defended, 15 tackles for a loss, 14 interceptions, 3 forced fumbles to his name. But the Panthers have decided to move on from the 28-year-old to create some cap space, which means if we release him or trade him, I don't think it matters which way we do it. We still save $5.9 million. Okay. I think maybe not in a trade. I know if they choose, I think it's if they choose to release Jackson, we would save approximately $5.9 million in cap space. And I think this is a smart move for the team. I know that we're going to have to replace him somehow, some way, whether it's through free agency or draft, because obviously we're in rebuild. We've been retooling for the past 6 to 8 seasons, and look, how far has that really gotten us? Nowhere. We've got to improve this roster for this upcoming season, and we got to start the rebuild. Jackson, he signed a 3-year, $35.1 million deal back in 2022. That means that the Panthers are going to have to pay him a roster bonus on March 16th. And it is likely that the team will trade or release him before the date to avoid paying that bonus. So don't be surprised if this happens next. The decision, obviously, to part ways with Jackson may surprise some fans, as he has been I wouldn't say he's been a consistent performer. He has had his times over the years that he has been consistent, but he's also very injury prone. And he also, for how fast he is, I've seen him get burned more times than he probably should because of how fast he is. But at the end of the day, we know that the NFL is business, and sometimes tough decisions have to be made for the team's benefits. It'll be interesting to see how the Panthers handle this situation and who they'll bring in to replace Jackson. In the end, this move just allows them to create some cap space while also giving Jackson an opportunity to find a new team. Now, some potential landing spots, as you can see here, I've added that in there. You got the Eagles, the Kansas City Chiefs, and the Lions. So the reason why I said the Eagles, they already have James Bradbury, Darius Slay under contract till 2024. I would say I think Darius Slay is one of the best in the NFL. Now, I think James Bradbury is absolute booty cheeks. Sorry. I think if they add a proven veteran there, like Jackson, to the mix, that could be what the doctor ordered for that Philadelphia secondary. I know Howie Roseman has a reputation for taking chances on veterans who are down on their luck, and Jackson could be a perfect fit in that mold. I will say Jackson has improved his play against the run. And I think that makes him an attractive option as well for the Eagles. Another team, as you can see, is the Kansas City Chiefs. While the Chiefs have a star cornerback in L'Jarius Sneed, there are rumors that the team could tag and trade him due to salary cap constraints. I think I saw some news recently come out, though, that the Chiefs are not going to franchise tag L'Jarius Sneed. I'm not sure if that's correct or not. I know that Jackson might not be on the same level as Sneed, but his experience and speed and run support can make him an appealing option for the defending champions. And obviously, I'm sure Donte Jackson wouldn't mind playing alongside Patrick Mahomes. So, last but not least, the Detroit Lions. The Lions had a surprisingly successful 2023 season. For some, that might have been surprising. For me, I had them as a dark horse. Their pass defense was the weak point on their team, though. They ranked second worst in the league behind with the Washington Commanders. I think adding a guy like Jackson, who has shown flashes in coverage, could help shore up the weaknesses there. I think Jackson's confidence, determination would also fit well in that the Lions locker room culture. So while he's not a shutdown guy, he would be a valuable addition as a number 2 option. The Lions can also find a true number 1 corner in free agency or the draft. So that's where I see him going. We've got to start we are in full rebuild mode, guys. I mean, this is where we are. It is what it is. So guys, as you're coming in, make sure you pound the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I would greatly appreciate it. Just those 2 things help out the channel tremendously. All right. So, but some potential replacements, though. Some potential replacements for D-Jack. So here's some guys that I think that we could replace him with. The Carolina Panthers could sign a guy like Miles Bryant, a former undrafted free agent out of Washington. I know he's not the biggest cornerback, 5'9", but he has proven to be a good coverage corner, especially in the short to intermediate routes. He also has the ability to switch to a safety position if needed. I think the Panthers could extract maximum value out of him, especially since they might not have the money to spend this offseason. Another thing they could do is look in the draft. They could go after a guy like TJ Tampa. If the Panthers want to find that long-term replacement for Jackson, then go down that draft route. Might be the best bet for them. Although they don't have a first-round pick, which that could change, obviously, now due to the fact that the Brian Burns ordeal. They can find that gem in the day 2 of the draft and get TJ Tampa out of Iowa State. He's got impressive size. He's got the length for the cornerback position. He also has the versatility to be effective in that pass coverage as part of the zone scheme. So I think that would be a great fit for what we're running here on the defensive side of the ball. He definitely needs improvement in his discipline and tackling technique, but he could be a worthwhile investment for the Panthers in the long run, right? And since we're in rebuild mode, that kind of makes more sense, right? I mean, we're in that rebuild mode, and bringing in guys that are, bringing in these rookies, I think is the route to go. Another guy we could bring in to replace D-Jack is Kendall Fuller. Might be a bit habituous. Not habituous, a little bit ambitious, I should say, for the Panthers. So it could pay off in the long run. Fuller is a Super Bowl winner. That was for when he was with Kansas City. He spent most of his career with the Washington Commanders, although that defense there in Washington, it was abysmal last season. While the Panthers might not have the budget really to lure Fuller here, they should at least consider throwing their hat in the ring and see if maybe he bites, right? Just toss your rod out there and see if you can catch anything. Another guy, obviously, draft. Another look is a draft, and that's Cam Hart. Could be a good option out of Notre Dame prospect. He's got size, athleticism to play at the next level, in my opinion. He also has the experience playing both cornerback and safety, which kind of makes him an valuable asset for the Panthers. While he needs to refine his technique and footwork, I think Hart has obviously the potential to be a solid seller in the NFL. So these are some guys I think that can potentially replace Donte Jackson. And I'm sure you're wondering, well, if we, instead of replacing Donte Jackson, who are the guys that are going to replace Brian Burns? Well, that's a good question. There's guys in the draft that we could look at. Obviously, like Chop Robinson off, an edge. Obviously, there's, you can go with a guy from his alma mater, Jared Verse. Again, it depends. You could also try to see if you can get a cheap option in free agency, like Bryce Huff, who had, I think Bryce Huff had over, his market value is cheap too. His market value for Bryce Huff is cheap. So who's 25 years old, coming in his prime. I think his market value is only like it's only 9.2 million. So, he could be a guy that we could replace him with. He's only 25 too. So, and last year statistically he had 10 sacks. He's just gotten better throughout the years, as well. He just had his best year last year. So Bryce Huff out of free agency, I think, could be a guy that you could go after. Any other outside linebackers, I would probably say, at least from a free agency standpoint, I would say as an outside linebacker, someone that's, I mean, you could go after Jerome Baker. I don't know if you could afford him. Bryce Huff seems to be, I would think, the best guy that fits the narrative here. Josh Uche, maybe, out of New England, who's a free agent. Trying to see who else is out there. Not really much. There's really not much besides. I mean, Daniel Hunter, maybe. I just don't know if you can afford him. I mean, Josh Allen's out there, but I doubt you're going to be able to afford him either. So, free agents wise, replacing Burns is going to be tough. I just wanted to get that out there because I know we were talking about Burns and the franchise tag and all that stuff earlier. We have a dilemma, though, too, with Taylor Moton, because the team starting right tackle, Taylor Moton, is currently under contract with a cap hit of $29.7 million, which makes him the highest cap charge among all Panthers players. NFL The Kid, I saw that. I'm trying to see if there's anything else that's coming out with this whole thing. with anything else that's going on for the Panthers. I'm getting updates on my phone. My phone's blowing up. But again, we have the financial pressure on this team is crazy. This front office is closely monitoring this situation. They are contemplating renegotiating contracts with Moton, because he is a massive burden on the salary cap. His contract, it's killing us. I mean, because as you can see here, the cap is 29.7, but if they release him, they free up 17.5 million in cap space, which is insane. And so this forces our hand into a rock and a hard place, because one option is you release Moton, which then, like I said, frees up that 17.5 million in cap space. Now, this team would designate Moton as a post June 1st cut, which allows them to spread that associated dead money across multiple years and lessens its immediate impact on the cap. Before we start waving goodbye to Moton, though, guys, let me tell you, I'm going to dive a little bit deeper in this, because we need to think about what he brings to the table first, because this offensive line is a critical component for us for the next coming years. And obviously trying to protect our quarterback cannot be overstated, right? He's been the most consistent performer on that offensive line, okay? Whether you like it or not. And he's a valuable asset to this team, and it's undeniable. However, this team's responsibility cannot be ignored, okay? What this team needs to do, the Panthers have to find the balance, that the financial implications of Moton's contract against his on-field performance. So it's like a delicate dance, that requires the team to make a tough decision. And at the end of the day, I mean, for us, we have to do what's best for the team. If we renegotiate with Moton's contract as best of course of action, then that's what we should do. If we release him and it's the only viable option, then that must be the way the financial implications against the value of Moton brings to the offensive line. That's when you also got to talk about, okay, if we go that route, who are we going to bring in to replace Taylor Moton? When you look at guys out there to replace Taylor Moton on the offensive line, and you look at the right tackle position, and you look at the free agents out there, you got Trent Brown, you got Jonah Williams, you got, really, it's really the only person I would replace him with is Trent Brown, really. You could go with, it's really the only person it would either Trent Brown or Jonah Williams. So there's not really much free agents out there, unless, they go with the compensation of the 2 first-round picks. It's a, it is what it is. So the Panthers, here's the thing. They got the non-exclusive tag on Brian Burns, which we talked about earlier, right? They got the non-exclusive tag. I know that says franchise tag, but it's non-exclusive. So, which means now the Panthers, again, which we were talking about earlier, has the option to let other teams send him contract offers, and either the Panthers can match or they get 2 first rounds in compensation. Okay? Then we were talking about, of course, the releasing or trading of Donte Jackson. They release him. They get $5.9 million in cap space. Okay. They trade him. It's different. I don't know the difference in the trade value for him. If they trade him, they only save a certain amount. I don't think it's the same. And then we also got some potential. I talked about some potential replacements, but then you have to think about the whole Taylor Moton situation. There's a lot of changes going on here in Carolina, obviously, because we're in a rebuild mode. So everybody's got to understand that this is the reason why we're having all these news coming out about, like, Donte Jackson, Brian Burns, and Taylor Moton. So now they have the choice to either, if Taylor Moton's willing to renegotiate again his contract, because he's already renegotiated his contract once. So now they got to renegotiate his contract again, and if he's willing to be a team player, they will. If not, then guess what happens then? Well, they release him and they save 17.5, but then you have to replace him. So if all of these guys between Donte Jackson, Brian Burns, and Taylor Moton, let's say they all go, you're going to have to replace three key positions, really. You're going to have to you have to replace your best pass rush. You have to replace your best offensive tackle. I would say JC Horn's our best corner. So, you're going to have to replace your corner number 2. And there's options on that, but I mean, there's a lot of news and a lot of rumors. Obviously, the non-exclusive tag is official for Brian Burns. Nothing's official yet for Donte Jackson. Again, they have to do it before March 16th, so they don't have to pay him that bonus. So if the Panthers don't want to pay, so if they don't want to have to pay Donte Jackson that bonus, then they need to release him or trade him before March 16th. And then with Taylor Moton, they're going to try to probably renegotiate instead of releasing him, I think. But if they renegotiate with them, they'll save like $6 million, I think, over $6 million. It's like 6 point something. Obviously, if they release him, they save 17.5. Which means they could go out and sign some guys. But who knows? Maybe they release him and take that 17.5 million. They get the 2 first-round picks out of the compensation for the Brian Burns non-exclusive tag. They go out, get a right tackle in the draft to replace him, and then maybe they'll sign a guy to replace Burns and D-Jack in free agency because of how much money they were able to save up. I mean, there's multiple ways that they can go about this. I mean, this is it's crazy that I knew this news was going to come out today. I knew today was the deadline to franchise tag any player. So the whole thing with the Brian Burns thing, I knew it was going to be done today, but I did not know it was going to be a non-exclusive tag. So that's crazy. Yeah, Matt. So Matt Chatter, they non-exclusively tagged Brian Burns, which means we either can match what a team offers or we get 2 first-round picks in compensation. Which probably will, if we get 2 first-round picks, it won't be in this year's draft. It will probably be 1 in this year's draft and 1 in next year's draft. So this year and a future. So there's a lot of next couple days. Obviously, keep your eyes. The next couple weeks and the next couple days, keep your eyes on Taylor Moton. Keep your eyes and ears out for sorry, felt something touch my foot. I don't know what it was. Anyways, keep your eyes and ears out on Moton, Donte Jackson, and more on Brian Burns. We will see what comes of this. Which is crazy. It's just nuts. Not lots going on. I would say Moton is our best. Oh, he's the most consistent offensive lineman we have. I hope, and behind a healthy Corbett, though. I mean, yeah, but Corbett's done, man. NFL the kid, his career, I think, is done. I really do, guys. I really think that Corbett's career is done. He tore his ACL. He comes back, plays 4 games, 5 games, maybe 6, whatever it was, and tears his MCL in the same knee. And he just came off an ACL tear. I think Corbett's career is done. That knee is shot. That knee is done. An MCL tear is not as bad as an ACL tear. It depends on how bad he tore it. MCL tears, you don't always need to have surgery, from my understanding. MCL tears, you don't need to have surgery, depending on how bad the tear is. Most likely, he's getting physical therapy done on that tear, and so we'll see. I think he's done, though. I think Corbett, we're going to need to replace Corbett if anybody's getting replaced. But we'll see what they do with Taylor Moton. Hopefully they can work out a deal. Hopefully they can renegotiate. I'd rather them just renegotiate. And then instead of us trying to replace him, even though I know we get the $17.5 million cap space, I just would rather not have to also deal with the dead cap, because they would have to spread it out over time. But I would much rather them make the right decision. It's a critical decision with Taylor Moton's contract, though, for us. It's a decision that's going to impact our team's salary cap, and it's could on the on-field performance as well. So this team has to balance out the responsibilities with on-field competitiveness to as they try to strategize and manage that salary cap effectively. It's like I said in my short, what basically this front office right now is basically they are the chefs. They're creating this recipe that they want to create, this wonderful recipe for whatever it is, and they have to put all these mixes together to create a successful recipe. All right, that's the best analogy I can bring up, and it's crazy. Bills got 11 picks. They traded away their right guard, if I'm not mistaken, last night to the Bears as well, and got a 5th round pick. You can't help the club from the tub. I like that. They cut Trey White. I can see that. I mean, he's an average Joe, in my opinion. He's all right. All right, so I'm gonna make this a little bit bigger. Actually, let's do this. And I'll move this comment out the way. You can see that. I'm sure you can see that. Let's talk about the NFL Combine. NFL Combine winners and losers. Okay. And these are also winners and losers and who could interest the Carolina Panthers. Okay. I would say the winners are definitely the Texas wide receivers, Adonia Mitchell and Xavier Worthy. The Texas duo stole the show at the Combine with their impressive 40-yard dashes, while Worthy set a Combine record with a 4.21 40-yard dash. Mitchell's athletic testing was equally off the charts with his bulky 6'2", 205 frame. So Mitchell's wide receiver skills are somewhat raw. His athleticism is, to me, is very intriguing. Meanwhile, on the other side, you got Worthy, who's this impressive production that combined with his speed that just makes him a player that teams probably are going to consider. Now, do I think his draft stock went up just because he runs a 4.21? I don't think so. I think teams are definitely looking at that. I don't think that you can just go based off the fact a guy runs a 4.21, because he's fast, but that doesn't always pan out. We've had a lot of guys look at Kadarius Toney. Kadarius Toney's fast, right? We've also seen other guys that are, really fast, and they don't pan out, So I wouldn't say that his draft stock probably did go up a little bit, but it's not going to be like a guy that I think he's going to be a 1st round pick. I think, Worthy might still be a 1st round pick. I don't know. I think Adonia Mitchell, especially, who could possibly be a top 2nd round pick, I think. I think Worthy, who's probably still in the 2nd round with him, in my opinion. Lad Monken. Am I pronouncing his name? Is it Monken? if I'm not mistaken. I always forget. I feel like I'm pronouncing his name wrong, but that's just me. The Georgia wide receiver definitely had a stellar show at the Senior Bowl, but then he just followed it up to have another stellar show at the Combine. Um, he's obviously on the smaller side as a wide receiver. He's 5'11" at 186 pounds, but that 40-yard dash, 4.4 speed, the drills that he made him intriguing because based off the evaluations I saw, his combine profile is definitely a technician style wide receiver. So a guy who's going to be a route runner for sure. McCockey. Okay. Lad McCockey. My bad. So that's going to make him definitely makes him a tough cover for any defense. He definitely showed his fluidity in the drills and could be an exceptional option for the Carolina Panthers. Cooper Beebe, of course, y'all know how much I love this guy. You know how much I love this guy. I knew this guy was going to be a stud even before the combine. He obviously tested off the charts at the combine, especially in the movement drills. Obviously, he might be a little short, but his athleticism is what makes him a great fit for the Panthers. Offensive guards success is more correlated with athletic testing than people really realize when it comes to these guys. I know BB's showing over the weekend will make teams reconsider their questions about his ability to move in space. So his draft stock definitely went up. Kingsley Suamate, this guy is actually Penei Sewell's cousin. If you didn't know, basically tested almost identically to Sewell at the combine. So Suamate's tape, I've watched it. It's a little bit less impressive than Sewell's, but he has a solid athletic testing and bloodlines. Combined with good enough tape, makes him an exciting target, I think, for the Panthers on day 2 if they decide to go with that guy. 2 other guys, Kalen Carson, Peyton Wilson, local collegiate products, named the Panthers when talking about their games. Carson said he shares a trainer with J.C. Horn, models at his game after him. And while Wilson is an off-ball linebacker who called Luke Kuechly his GOAT, so Carson's a corner prospect that the Panthers could probably look at early day 3. While Wilson doesn't, I don't know, I wouldn't say he doesn't fit a need, but he could end up being a guy that we might want to look into. Obviously, with that 4.4 speed, 235-pound linebacker, definitely obviously makes him an intriguing prospect. To me, the losers in this combine were Enos Rackstraw Jr. Okay. The Panthers have a substantial need at corner, especially after, they're reportedly letting Donte Jackson go. So Rackstraw had been projected to go in the Panthers range in the 2nd round, but his combine performance is throwing up a lot of red flags. He could have had a better run, in my opinion. It'll be hard for the Panthers to justify taking him at a below average athlete at the cornerback position with their first draft pick. All right. And Troy Franklin, he was the biggest disappointment for me because I was very high on this guy. I felt like all the other wide receivers, Worthy, Mitchell, Adunzie, McCockey or Munkin, however you pronounce his last name, even Luke McCaffrey, Keon Mitchell, those guys I felt like had great combines, but Franklin for me just did not pan out well. He ran well, which was expected. I will give him that, but his weight of 176 pounds and struggles with the gauntlet are, for me, a cause of concern because his first run had a couple bobbles and then he seemed to be drifting away from the ball, which to make it easier to catch, which is the opposite of what you want in your wide receivers to do. So I know the NFL Combine, guys, might not be a perfect science, obviously, okay? But it provides the valuable insights when it comes to these potential draft picks about the athleticism and the abilities and the skill sets. And we know that this Panthers team has needing multiple impactful players, and each piece of information I think is vital as we approach this draft, especially with players. Draft stocks may not see drastic changes based on their combine performance, but it can give front offices second thoughts and make them take a longer look at these certain players, right? So we obviously got the pro days coming up, and reports about interviews with teams will provide even more information on these prospects, and draft boards are finalized. So there'll be more to come on these draft prospects for sure. Especially here um at the Ropp Star Report, especially here at the Ropp Star Report. So no worries. Now let's get into this topic. Okay. All right. Are the Panthers? That's just why I said Panthers copycats. Panthers copycats. So are the Panthers following the Saints blueprint? That's what I'm kind of curious here. Are the Panthers following the Saints blueprint? You know what I mean? Well, that's if we, AJ Brooks. If that, I mean, I don't think Shaq's leaving, so I don't see that happening. Because here's the thing: days have passed since GM Dan Morgan, Dave Canales have addressed reporters at the NFL Combine. They made their public statements, and of course, their strategic discussions and negotiations and all that. In the midst of evaluating those college prospects, I feel like the Panthers, like other teams, engaged in crucial meetings with free agents as well. Obviously, Brian Burns has now become a non-exclusive tag, and which means signaling their intent to either get those 2 first-round picks, right? The 2 first-round compensation picks, or they get or they match the contract that gets negotiated with Burns, which is going to be kind of interesting to me because I wonder if anybody's really going to be willing to give Brian Burns that $30 million contract. And that's what I want to see. I want to see if someone is even going to be close to that. But beyond all that, there are things that we need to prioritize right now. Okay. There are things that we got to prioritize. So the guard priority, right? The inside position, right? During the Saints during Drew Brees' time, their emphasis on guard play was big time. Okay, when Drew Brees was in New Orleans, one of their biggest priorities was putting guards. All right, building that offensive line and putting guards around it. So the Panthers obviously have to be eyeing reinforcements on this offensive line. Okay. And I think that Bryce Young's stature and the team struggles with interior protection underscore the urgency when it comes to this, because with Young sacked 62 times as a rookie, they need a stable pocket. That is evident. So the potential shift of Ikem Ekwonu inside highlights the team's commitment to fortifying this line. There are eyes on free agents like Damian Lewis, who boasts ties with Coach Canales, which kind of fits the mold of a pocket anchor. Another thing, Ike Ekwonu's development. That's another thing here. While Ekwonu faced protection challenges in his sophomore season, his skill set does align with Canales' run game plans. I will say that. So recognizing Ekwonu's skill set as a mauler in the run game, I think Canales is going to emphasize the strength and consistency there. Ekwonu's confidence in bouncing back, which we saw him yesterday working out with Calvin Ridley and somebody else. I can't remember who it was. It was Calvin Ridley and somebody else. Could be a focus on quick passes, right? I think that's going to be another focus, getting the ball out quick. So that suggests a promising maybe trajectory under the new coaching staff. We'll shall see if Equano actually bounces back, but glad to see he's out there putting the work in. And then, of course, the pass rush concerns. Obviously, now with the whole thing with Burns getting that non-exclusive tag, whether he could be going somewhere else or they match the deal, whatever the case may be. You still have Marquise Haynes and you have YGM hitting the free agent market. So we got a team that's facing a void in the pass rush behind Burns. I know YGM showed some promise. They may still seek an additional reinforcements to obviously bolster that defensive front as well. You got leadership dynamics, though. Questions lingering about Morgan's leadership style and decision making with this whole restructuring of this team. Morgan's distinct philosophy and final decision making authority mark a shift in this team dynamics. Okay. So despite whatever happens, despite whatever appreciation he had for Scott Fitter, Morgan is going to do it his way, and he's going to make the decision, and he's going to fill that leadership role the way it's supposed to be, I believe. And then, of course, draft hosting aspiration. Charlotte aims to host the NFL draft in the coming years, if y'all didn't know that, as a premier NFL destination while plans are underway. The earliest opportunity for Charlotte to host would likely be 2028. So that would be kind of cool. That would be kind of cool, guys. But maybe they're trying to follow this blueprint that the Saints are doing, which would make sense to me when you have a shorter quarterback. Let's see. Guys, make sure you pound that like button, subscribe to the channel. What a day it's been. I mean, what a day it's been. I mean, the whole thing with Brian Burns non-exclusive tag is crazy because, I mean, this whole thing with the Brian Burns situation, the chances of a team offering Burns what he wants and giving up 2 first-round picks is highly unlikely. All right. I will say that. I just don't see someone offering Burns $30 million and then giving away 2 first-round picks in compensation. Like, the last time that happened, it was the Panthers signing Sean Gilbert, and then it ended up being one of the top 3 worst moves in Panthers history. There's a reason why it's rare. So I did want to put that out there. It's just insane. It's just insane. So, well, we shall see. There will be more news to come between this whole ordeal with Brian Burns. We'll see how that pans out. We'll also see how it pans out with Donte Jackson. We'll see. Probably we'll hear more negotiations about Taylor Moton. And more to come with some of these draft prospects and free agency. So be on the lookout for more content coming your way, guys, because there definitely will be. Also, what to do with Bozeman because the offensive zone scheme. Yeah, I don't know what they're going to do with Bradley Bozeman. I know there's rumors out there that it could be a potential, he could be a potential cut or trade piece. I don't know. Anthony Brown, what's up? Maybe the Rams or Texans. I just don't see it for 2 first, maybe downgrade for 2 second. I don't know either. So appreciate everyone joining the live stream. Make sure you pound that like button, subscribe to the channel, become a member today, join the Discord. All that stuff is in the link tree down below. as you can see. So, as always, guys, keep pounding. Peace.